So when were you first, as mayor, when were you first sort of introduced and welcomed into the Armenian American community?
Very specifically, Mountain Davidson Cross. Many Board of Supervisor hearings, in the process getting educated about the Armenian genocide, a lot of the controversy in San Francisco shaped around the issues of religious liberty, around state lands, this iconic cross and what to do with it as it relates to sort of the secular movement that was alive at the time in San Francisco. And the Armenian community asserted themselves in a way that ultimately solved multiple problems, but ultimately educated the likes of me and many of my colleagues and the public in the process.
That's awesome. And you took that sort of welcoming and education and leadership and you translated into support of the Armenian American Museum. Why was that important for you as governor to support the museum?
Well, the museum was a natural extension, not only of being educated as the time as a county supervisor, but also getting then involved in passing some resolutions, encouraging with respect candidates for office to follow through on their promises, those running for president, those that were in office to follow through on their promises to the Armenian community as it relates to recognizing Armenian genocide, working with then Speaker Pelosi and then Minority Leader Pelosi in different capacities, passing resolutions urging the support. I think it was House Resolution 252-106, if I recall. And so it led to deeper understanding, deeper appreciation, more time with the community, in the community, and as a consequence of that, spending more time with you, folks in Southern California, no longer just Northern California as Lieutenant Governor, and that led to this moment of having the privilege to sit down with you before we started this budget process, and you extending not only a desire to see us do more and do better in supporting the community, but also identifying the opportunity to continue the support for the Armenian Museum to raise more awareness of the extraordinary contributions, current contributions of the Armenian community, and then moreover to reflect on the history and understanding of why we have the largest Armenian community in the United States and where that origin comes from and where those contributions lie today.
Well, the community is very grateful for that support. And now that I know you sent your staff down to visit and tour the facility. Now that you've learned more about the museum itself, what are you thinking about that project?
Well, we've got to continue to support it. I mean, it's wonderful to be in a position with your support and leadership and guidance to provide an additional $5 million. I think we're now over $8 million or around $8 million.
$8 million, right.
But, you know, that's still, you know, there's a lot of money to raise. There's still a lot more support we need to advance to get the museum done. But my staff came back enlivened by the progress, the promotion, the vision. And again, for me, look, I've got 4 kids. They need to be educated about the Armenian genocide. They need to understand the reality. They need to understand the current challenge and the controversy that persists in our country, where people of all political stripes don't have the courage of their convictions and are not doing as much as they can at the national level to assert the truth and to codify that truth in terms of our recognition. And to the extent the United States won't do as much as they should be doing, California should stand tall and stand out and be that example.
Well, you've certainly shown that leadership as governor, and sending a message to Washington to follow your leadership is important. And hearing about your kids, I think it's important that non-Armenians feel welcomed and encouraged to go to this. So I think that's an important point as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a museum for the Armenian community, certainly, but more broadly for the broader community, and understand the world we're living in, and to reconcile myth versus reality, and to understand that there are wrongs that need to be righted. And while we can never go back in history, can never change that history, we can understand it, we can reconcile our complicity in it to the extent we've allowed the kind of denial that persists around the world, and assert ourselves as only California does. I mean, you know, people take our lead, they take our example, and I think we have a unique role and responsibility to play. And I also want to just extend that role and responsibility is also to celebrate not just the cultural contributions, the business, the scientific, the research contributions of the Armenian community, but the religious constructs. You know, St. Gregory's in San Francisco, St. John's Apostolic, others that have also shaped my understanding, my opinions as it relates to the broader issues in the Armenian community are also a big part of, I think, the narrative that also can be extended through the museum as well.
Well, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your civil rights agenda and for embracing telling history. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for allowing me the privilege of not only being here with you, but also being here at this moment, which I think is an exciting one for the community as we take the next steps and make sure that the Armenian community feels fully integrated in the life of this extraordinary place we call home, California. Shanor Havor Humem.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.